Okay, guys, I'm gonna do something a little different this time. Uh, First off, I need to apologize. The camera's backwards. You probably haven't noticed that on any of the other videos. I don't know how to fix that. There doesn't seem to be a setting on this phone. And you probably noticed this black bar across there. Well, that's because the light is pretty bright, brighter to my liking. So, so I put a little piece of cardboard up there to try to block that. Hopefully, it won't interfere too much. Some of you might know I'm a member of a bunch of different book groups on Facebook, and I sometimes show off some of my books there, and sometimes I don't. I haven't gotten around to it very much, like I wanted to. Uh, I get a little nervous, and it's hard, and I get a little self-conscious. Don't know why. You're just showing off books. Uh, just got a lot of anxiety problems and everything. So I've basically just been leaving myself up mostly to commenting and whatnot every now and then lately. Uh, but anyway, a lot of people have been showing stuff off in various ways, and I figured I got so many to show off. I think I'll just start making some videos, and I'll start with this one. And you can see right there, that's just one shelf right there, and there's a little bit right there too, and there's another shelf over here. So I'm gonna try to make these little short videos, a little section, a few sections at a time, show them off. And if I have little stories to go with them and everything, I'll try to come up with something. Probably won't have much to talk about with most of them, but if anything does pop in my head, I'll be aware I'm gonna probably say something. Let's see. What else I want to say? I guess that's it right now. Let's go ahead and if I think of something else, anyway, let's start off. First thing I got, like I said, it's backwards, and I apologize. This is the Tashin, or not Tashin, Tao Publications Ultimate Six Pack. Little, there. This is number 216. I am not aware of how many they did of this. Got A Natural Wax by Lucy Taylor. Let's see, we got Stephen by Elizabeth Massey. This was a pretty out there story, I tell you that. Let's see if I think this is I think the Natural Axis, some short stories. Let me see here. Yeah, I think. Yeah, there are a few stories in there. I would like to tell you a little bit of some of. I've read these, but my memory's so bad I can't. Sometimes I can't remember very much. But I do know the Stephen. That one, and it's kind of hard to forget. Yeah. If you've read it, then yeah. If you can tell, that's a hospital curtain there. It is basically takes place in a hospital. Basically, two characters for the most part. Try to keep. third one, Pain Grin of Wayne Allen Sally, I'm sorry. There's him. Yeah, he's sticking his head out of the front of a car. Let's see the next one. The Best of D.F. Lewis. Some more stories. And the next one is Snakes by S. Dornbrock Colson. There's nothing on the back of that. And this is probably the one that everybody buys this kit for, and I think it's available by itself. Edward Lee's Quest for Sex, Truth, and Reality. I don't know how much the set's going for right now, but that's if it is going for a lot. If it's still available, then that's probably the one that's driving the price up. I can't get this back on there. There we go. Next one. Duck Footed by Joe R. Lansdale. It's also a limited edition chapbook. $3.99. This was a interesting story. It's not really horror, but he doesn't write a lot of horror. But he writes a good amount. He writes a lot of different stuff. He's just a good all around writer. Some of these things I got for sale. I made my own Facebook group. It's called Oh the Horror, all lowercase. It's the one with the Randolph flag campaign button for 2024. If you see it, I don't know anything about computers and Facebook. I'm just trying to get by as best I can, and I didn't quite set that group up the best in the world. So I apologize. It's set as private for some reason, and apparently you can't change it once you get it to private. Get it off there, so I guess I'm stuck with it. I got a few things on there, but like I said, I got a lot more to put on there as far as my selling things. I haven't really had any success anywhere else very much other than eBay, and then they changed their policies, and I had to take my stuff off there. So I was going to use that, and I haven't gotten around to telling anybody yet. So of course nobody's visited it yet. So, but I got all kinds of stuff ready to go. Let's see which will be next here. I read just about anything. Yeah, I'm subject to read just about anything. I try to stick with horror, comedy, some science fiction, whatever distracts my mind, or eye at the time. And most of the time I just want collecting the books and hoping to read later. Sometimes I don't. I hope there's no little kids watching this. This is, well, you'll see. This caused a little stir when it came out. If you are a little kid, that says flower. It says nice, pretty orange flower on it. I won't say anything other than that. Like I said, caught my eye. I got it just to put on a shelf and mess with people. Although I do plan on reading it. Alright. Guess I got in a bag a couple of things here. Holiday Horrors. It's another chapbook. Let's see. Yeah. Robert Brewhard, Keelan Patrick Burke, Ray Garton, and Glenn Krish. These were some good. These were some interesting stories too. The Tau 6-pack. You know, that's if you can find it, if you can find them. Like I said, a lot of these limited editions that I got. Once I get them, I stop looking to see how available they are. But, so I don't know if they're still available or if they're gotten rarer. Well, they've at least got one edition rarer since I got them. The 6-pack is, I would say it's, if you can find it, go ahead and get it. If you're a horror fan, you're going to want that in your collection. And this is not too bad one either to have in your collection. It's pretty good. Especially if you, I mean, it's just good, I'll tell you that. And this one, Very Scalzi Christmas from John Scalzi. He's an interesting guy. It's a it's a mixed bag of stuff. I think it's got some non-fiction and fiction in it. So all I know is I became a fan with this book. This was the first thing of his that I read, and he's got a lot of e-books on Amazon. They're his stuff. Some of his stuff other than his novels, maybe his comic novels, hard to get. The nonfiction stuff is hard to get, a little pricey, but the ebooks are decent, I guess, decent price. But he got quite a few of them. Haven't really bought very many of them yet, but I plan on to, because of this. Like I said, he became a big fan. I became a fan of him with this. Yeah, I got another novel over there I'll get to eventually that he wrote. Let's see. Next, I by Jeffrey Thomas, collection of short stories. This one's not a limited. Well, I've been getting a lot of limited editions, mainly because that's the only thing available, or the best thing available. And usually when they get limited, they're signed. And this one's not. This is a trade. This is another one I've read. It's hard to forget, even for me. Well, for a couple of reasons. Mainly because this story is memorable. It has caused a stir with a lot of people since it's been out. I like to think this guy's a friend of mine. The cover's catchy for me. Well, I'll just go ahead. Mike Duke's Warm, Dark Places Are Best. don't want to spoil anything. I would I will just tell you that it's kind of middle of the road horror. I mean, nothing too far out there, but it does shock a lot of people, and and will tend to stick with you. I would say. The main reason that it's memorable is because years ago, when I was in high school, I came up with the story almost identical to this, but I think he did probably a person did a better way than I could have. Eventually, I'm probably going to get around to finish my story that I wrote started on many years ago. Uh, I don't know. I've got lost so many things backed up, but yeah, it's eerily how close this was to my idea. Uh, but he beat me to it fair and square, so I may have to change some things. Uh, we'll see. I doubt mine's going to be anywhere near as good as this. he, he tries to keep his books reasonably cheap, especially for physical copies, and this is one of his cheapest. It's usually a pretty good price. So, like I go ahead and get this because it is cheap, and you'll like it. Matter of fact, get quite a few copies and give them as gifts. Especially people that are not quite horror fans, they can probably get through it and read it and be fine with it. And they'll either like you or hate you after. Now this one is a rarity. Let's see if it's. No, this one's not signed, but it is rare. It's a Carlton Mellick's Cancer Cute. It is a collection of 5 chapbooks that are even harder to find than this is. And it seems to me like I've read this one too. It seems to me like this is at the beginning of his career. I don't know if it says that in there. See, does it have an introduction? No. It's got an author note in it. Anyway, it seems like it's the beginning of his career. You can see like a little progression. It gets better the further in you get. They're all. I mean, this is worthwhile. You can see everybody seems to like him now. I can't remember if I introduced him into the into the Books of Horror group or not, but I like to think I am a little instrumental in making them popular. I posted a few book mails from him, and then it's kind of snowballed. There might have been a few people before me, but I like to think that I got the ball around a little bit more. Now a lot of people are into his stuff, and I'll be showing a lot of his books because I got quite a few now, and he just keeps writing them. And if I remember correctly, the seller told me before I bought this that it was only available at like a convention of some sort. And even at that convention, you had to be a member of like some sort of group before you could get this book. I don't know exactly how many copies are out there, but I would say it's not very many. So there you go. Once I got interested in the Carlton, I wanted pretty much most of his. All right, what do we got next? What do we do next here? gotta block this one. This is Robinson. Eric Maltate. I believe this is a Dutch version of Robinson. It's a take on Robinson Crusoe. I got this thinking it was going to be the English version, and the seller sent me this instead. So yes, this one is for sale. I don't believe I got it in my group, but I did have it on eBay. It's one of those things that haven't gotten reposted yet. It is rare a little bit, so just let me, if you're in one of my groups or something like that, let me know. Maybe we can work something out. It's got a little bit of condition issues. That's mainly because of the postman. They folded up the envelope pretty good. But it is a good story, you know. I mean, if you can tell by the cover, it is not for kids again. But other than that, it is still a good story. Just not something you really want to like leave out. Because like I said, I have read the English version, but you can get the gist of the story from the pictures too. You know. Next, DC House of Horror comic book. Stories by, so we can see them here, Edward Lee, Mary San Giovanni, Brian Smith and Brian Keane, and Nick Cutter. All good names. And using characters you're pretty much familiar with. That's a good book. Let's see. All right. Now this one's a twofer. It's got two different names, and I have accidentally got both copies. I didn't intend to, but I've read this. It's Harry Adam Knight's Death Spore and Fungus. It is the same book, paperback and hardback. Interesting story, to say the least, especially in the beginning. Sometimes I like to hang on to books if I really like them, but I'm gonna try to let these go. Once again, can't remember if I posted these or not. They were on eBay for sure, but don't think I got around to putting them in my group yet. But these are for sale, and they will be for sale as a set. I don't want to sell them separately. I'm trying to sell a lot of my books as a set because it's the shipping has increased, and the more books I can sell together, the better it is, and the better deal I can give. All right. Now it's a little reference book, Creature Features. It's a movie guide. It's an old edition, so it doesn't have very many. It's 97. So probably updated to 96 then. I got quite a few reference books like this. This is the closest one I got on hand to use. And this is the new edition of Let's Go Play at the Adams by Mendel Johnson. I did have the original version. It didn't have this cover though. I read that one. It is another must buy if you can get it. Although this is probably still cheaper, although they didn't publish very many, so the price is a little high still. After I sold my copy, well, once this one came out, I had to have it because I like this cover. If I did get this original cover, I wouldn't have sold my original. But I like this cover, so like I said, it's a must buy if you're a horror fan. It's another story you're probably not going to forget. Another couple that I don't really know why they're over here on this shelf, but I kind of want to read them, but I got so many others in front of them, I don't know. One is a Dark Planet by Charles Sasser. It's hard to see it. It's a dark cover. Got a little scorpion there. Don't really know much about them. Although according to the synopsis, it's interesting enough to at least not put in a box and hide away. Another one is Fritz Lieber's Lankmar Tales of the Fafard and the Grey Mouser. And you can tell I'll get a lot of library books. I don't really care as long as I can get the book. I mean, eventually in these videos you're going to see I got a lot of limited editions and some kind of rare books. But if I can get a trade, I'll get a trade over them for the most part. Although I do tend to go for good covers too. Alright. Now this is just a photo of McCamen's Stinger. This is the best photo of it, the best image I could come up with online. It's not very many. I blew it up, and it's a little blurry. This is from the Subterranean Press edition. I do have the normal paperback. I'll get that pretty soon in the probably the next video, maybe. Let's see. Yeah, I think the next video is gonna have the paperback. I really like this cover, so I found an image down and printed it out, framed it. If I can get the Subterranean Press, then I could. But if you know about anything about it, yeah, that's good. That's a little pricey. I did have a chance of getting somewhere around, I can't remember how many it was, but 4 or 6 of McCamen's Subterraneans in one lot on eBay. And the price, if you know how much they're going for, the price was pretty reasonable. I probably could have kept Stinger out of that lot and resold the others, because I don't really care that much about the others. At least not in the Subterranean Press version. And I probably could have broke even, or thereabouts, of reselling them based on the price. I've found a few deals like that, but when they're, even though they're reasonable price for what they are, when they get into the hundreds of dollars, it's hard to push that buy button. Uh, Even though you might be able to get your money back, but it's not a sure thing. Not a sure thing. So it's hard to press the buy. I've missed quite a few sales like that, and I kind of regret it. Let's see, another nonfiction book, uh, Panorama of Psychology. I guess it's just a reference book on psychology. Uh, there are various different topics in it. I just can't figure out any place else to put it. So it's on top of this shelf where all these other books are right at the moment. Another thing I have to apologize for. I'm sorry. I got a pretty bad stammer. The longer I talk, kind of the worse it gets. So most people are okay with it. Nobody really complains about it, at least. But I know it can probably bother people, so I need to apologize for that. Now this one, War of the Worlds, of course, and no introduction necessary. This is the Edward Gorey cover. I'm a fan of Edward Gorey, so there's a few small illustrations in there, in the front of the chapters too. I had to have this copy, but because one, it's gory, two, it's pink. I'm a fan of just about anything that's pink. And another reason, The War of the Worlds is pretty much, for some reason, it's pretty much my favorite story of all time. I might have read it more times than any other book. I don't know. I've read it at least 3 times, I think, which is uncommon for me. I usually don't reread books, and I've got quite a few. Well, not versions. There's dozens of editions and versions and covers of this thing. I mean, you can go crazy trying to collect them. So if I find them in junk stores, I might get them. But what I decided to do instead is collect all the sequels I can find, all the various different versions, comic book versions, and things like that. Eventually, I'll get to them. I got them in that back, most of them in that back shelf back there. So it'll be a while before I get to them. So I don't think I'm updated on all of them. I might have a few that are only in Kindle version, and I know that they keep coming up with different ones. And there's probably some I'm not aware of, but I do have quite a few sequels and the other ones people wrote that are not quite sequels, but reinterpretations, I guess you probably could say. And I kind of consider this the ultimate story. I mean, there are other books that might jump close to that, if not bump it up, that I haven't read yet, but I have a lot of hope for. Like The Princess Bride. The movie is almost perfect. I have a lot of hope for that book. For some reason, I haven't gotten around to it yet. I got 2 versions of that. One's thinner than the other. The other one has more content to it. Right now, I'm just trying to read as many books as I can, so I'm trying to stick to thinner books so I can get more read. And a thick book like that could take me at least a month to read, if not longer than that. depends on how long how much I can read in a day. But right now, like I said, I'm trying to get as many as I can, and big thick books like that I just can't fit in at the moment. Another one, I found this at a flea market. Theodore Sturgeon's God Body. I just bought it on a whim. I knew about him. Never read anything about him yet before. But he's another one that's on my radar now. This was a very good story. Science fiction. But, and it's thin. If, I would recommend it to a lot of people. Let's see how many, it's about 160 pages, so yeah, almost on the money there. Pretty good story. I mean, if I wrote out a review, I could probably come up with some more accolades and stuff, but on the spur of the moment, it's hard to say anything other than it's great. Like I said, I try not to give away anything when I do review. I don't want to give away anything at all at because spoilers bug the crap out of me, and even small spoilers that sometimes leak somewhere in the back of the book. It's hard to write a good summary that tells you about what the book's about without giving stuff away. So I like for having them on there, but it can be a little iffy sometimes for me. Elmore Leonard's Rum Punch. This, among a lot of his books, were made into a movie. My bad memory is making me forget it, and you're probably gonna laugh at me for forgetting that because it's so popular of a movie. But with my memory the way it is, popular stuff is just as easy to forget as it uncommon stuff. I forget the names of my favorite actors and stuff all the time. I've even forgotten names of family members from time to time. I don't know what it is. It's not Alzheimer's. It's not the other one. the common, what's the other one? Alzheimer's and, yeah, the two common memory problems. It's neither one of them. I don't know what it is. Something happened either when I was born or shortly after, because I've had this problem all my whole life, and it's caused me all kinds of problems where I just can't remember stuff, and I've, for the most part, found a way to get by, but it's been hard. I have some theories about what's happened, what caused it, but that's all they are, theories, because I have no way to prove them. But I guess that's all I'll say about that for right now. Another collection. Neil Gaiman, Trigger Warnings. I mean, another author needs no introduction. I've read a few things by him, and I try to get his collections whenever I find them. And these look pretty interesting. Don't know when I'll get around to reading it, but do plan on it. And because they are short pieces, even though some of them might be shorter than others, I could probably fit something like this in my schedule eventually. Now I'll come to the last few things. Last couple things. I do 3 of them, and I got a combo of 3, and then one left after that. But same thing. Brian Keene's Sympathy for the Devil, nonfiction column series. This is called. It's got a Mylar cover on it. Yeah. And then this one's paperback. I believe these were the first Kings I read. Hold on a minute. I also got number 4, Leader of the Band. I'm currently reading that. I'm just about 20 pages into it. I got the jacket for it too, but because I'm reading it, and because it being a little bit rare, and this is probably rarer than the other 3, that I got it set aside. At one time, I thought about selling these after I read them, but I think I'm probably gonna hang on to these. Everybody seems to love his novels, but this nonfiction is some of the best nonfiction I've ever read. To be honest with you, he's one of those guys that talks to you like he's your friend or something, like Stephen King is probably famous for in his introductions and whatnot. I would say, who else does that? Asimov, I think. Isaac Asimov, mostly science fiction writer, although he writes a lot of stuff. A lot of, who else? There's quite a few people like that. He's a guy that comes off as, you could talk to him in real life pretty easily, I would say. Especially if you hand him a beer. I forget the one that he's really likes. It's not one of the more popular brands. Maybe in his part of the world it is. But yeah, especially if you can give him one of those beers, he'll be more liable to talk to you more than anything else. But he's pretty humble, I guess you could say. I have a lot of respect for people like that. Good guy, and I've started acquiring a lot more of his books than I normally would have gotten. He has talked me into based in these books where he writes about the makings of and the travails of him doing his other novels. He's talked me into getting a few of his books that I didn't already want to get. I mean, if I was going to get them at all, I was probably going to get them as an ebook. But a little bit persuasive, I guess you could say. But non-fiction is pretty darn good. Richard Feynman, I think, is another one I was trying to think of that has a good way of talking. He's a physicist. I don't think he does it in nonfiction. He writes a lot of textbooks, but he's got a few uh, memoir essay type books out there, and those few, if you can find them, even if you're not into the physics thing, it's worth getting because he's a good person. He got a lot of good things to talk about. He he was a he like a lot of science writers. He was a teacher at one point, and he's probably one of the better teachers I can imagine ever having. This last one goes hand in hand with those. It's also uh, Excitable Boys, edited by Kelly Lehman. It's got a Brian Keene in it, among a few other people. Uh, what Keene wrote about a few times in those books is that the horror, I think it's the Horror Con convention. They did this thing called a gross out contest, where people would get up and tell a little story, usually something that they've already wrote and published. And sometimes they would act out things, and the gist was is to try to make it as gross as possible. And these are some stories from that contest. It was a pretty good book too. I got it with the hopes of finding one particular story that King did at the contest. The Hell at S Smart. He wrote about that, doing that one, but instead he has another one included in here that he did. That so far I haven't read about him talking about that one. He might have that in Leader of the Band. I don't know. As far as I know, Hell at S Smart is only publishing one book, and they are republishing short stories in various collections on Kindle, and I'm hoping that will eventually get included in one of them. I think they're due to have a new group pretty soon, hopefully sometime this year, in that series. And maybe, fingers crossed, that will be in there, because that book that S Smart story is in is very hard to find and very expensive when you find it. And it is bugging me. It's trying to talk me into buying it, but I don't want to because it's a lot of money and a lot to pay for basically one story, even though all the others in there are worthwhile. But pretty much they're all included elsewhere, except for that one story. And that's bugs me. I would like to find it elsewhere, but so far I haven't. I've checked his website and it's only included in that one book. So I have to wait. I would say this one's not too hard to find. I would say go ahead and get this one too. As far as horror goes, this is more gross stuff instead of real horror. So yeah, go ahead. You don't have to get. I don't think it's really going to scare you if I remember. I don't know. There's some pretty out far-fetched stuff in here. I would say go ahead. If you get it and you think it does go too far, go ahead and leave me a comment, cuss me out. I don't care. I'll take it. It's worth your while. I mean, if you don't like it, chances are you're going to be able to resell a book. So you're not out much, if anything. That's the last one for this for this video. I didn't think that was that many books, and this video has run pretty long. I'm looking at the timer right now, and it's over 50 minutes right now. And the ones that let's see, the next 6 shelves that I plan on doing in a video might go faster. Depends on how much I'm going to talk in between. I mean, a lot of them I don't think I have that much to say about, but you never know. But those things right there, see those are 2-foot shelves. Yeah, and they're pretty full. Don't know if I can get them in one video or not. We'll see how that goes when I get to them. So yeah, I guess I'll just I apologize for this being so long. You probably, not many people are going to stick by and watch all the way through, especially with my stammer and everything. But for those of you that do, I thank you. At least I don't think my videos have commercials in them. I guess there's, unless YouTube inserts them in on their own. So far, I don't think any of them do. But because this went so long, it might. I don't know. Hopefully, it doesn't. Got that going for me. Anyway. I don't. You can do whatever you want. I mean, I would like for you to leave comments if you want. As far as anything else, I ain't gonna be like everybody else and beg for anything. You do whatever you want. If you want to subscribe, or whatever. I don't care. I ain't gonna be a beggar. You know, if you like it, I don't care. I'm not. I don't care. I'm just posting these things for me and for your enjoyment.